I think we can leave in some of this intro. I like getting the starting conversation and kind of catching up with just general things that we talk about.
What are you saying? Like talk first and then what?
Well, I kind of like leading into a conversation. It's just fun to
I
really get
understand,
things
like,
set
mental,
up
but
here.
it's just like-
So where's my countdown? Hey, audio. Can I get a countdown audio? Yeah, there we go.
And in 5,
Here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Soft Sword Podcast. This is Aaron speaking. Today with us we have
Danny, Austin,
Q-Tuck.
and once again myself. And today we'll be talking about a few things. I think first and foremost, guys, we have the Super Bowl coming up.
we do.
It is here.
Yeah, that was the whistle of a Patriots fan. We do
Who's
not.
pulling for the Eagles?
Who's pulling for the Eagles?
I'm pulling for ACL tear for Tom Brady.
Yes, you see, vagina has strange powers where it can convince you that you can actually root for a different team.
Exactly.
And no, that's
It's
actually
power.
not it at all.
No, it's fair. I definitely hope the Eagles win. I'm actually a Pittsburgh fan myself, born and raised. So,
So
yeah, they
he-
can.
He came out with a terrible towel wrapped around his body.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Pittsburgh is where it's at.
Do we have?
Yeah, Pittsburgh
do we
is
have
waiting
predictions
on the
for?
bench.
Do we have predictions each of us for who's going to win the game?
Yeah, so I think Patriots are going to win. So I think we talked about this a little earlier, but I think the Eagles are going to be winning for the majority of the game, and then for some fucked up reason, the Patriots are going to pull it over, have a 15-point lead, and win the game.
That fucked up
Last
reason
quarter,
is the refs.
last quarter too.
That fucked up reason is the refs, by the way. They're best friends.
What do you think, you?
I think it's going to be 35-30 Patriots. Tom Brady's game-winning touchdown.
Oh, come on.
Super Bowl
No,
MVP.
I don't think it would be that again. You see, after watching them beat the Jaguars, which was just a heart-wrenching.
I'm
so
pulling for
many
you, Nick
things were
Foles.
just-
I'm pulling for you, but I don't think he can do it. You were on the Rams.
I've seen them win enough game-winning drives. I think I'm a little tired of that.
Now, if the Eagles still have Mike Vick, then I'd definitely be pulling for him.
Yeah, and if the Giant and if
But people who love dogs wouldn't.
the Eagles had Eli Manning, you think they'd win?
Oh yeah.
Really?
They had Tom Coughlin.
Well, no, because
They have to have Coughlin.
I think it was more Tom Coughlin, but Tom Coughlin was he's the VP of the Jags.
Yeah.
Right.
Of the
Yeah.
Jaguars. Yeah.
You can't beat one. You got to be together. You can't have one without the other.
So you're saying the Coughlin-Manning
And a
combination?
receiver to make a crazy catch.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I think they have pretty good receivers. They have Alshon Jeffrey. That's correct, right?
The Eagles do, yeah.
But they have Nick Foles.
Oh, the Eagles definitely.
Nick Foles,
Did
who
you
threw
see
7
how-
touchdowns against the Raiders in 2013,
Nick Foles, who last week threw over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
on one of their
Against
top-ranked
the
defense.
Vikings.
The Vikings defense might be overrated, or maybe Nick Foles is that good.
I think that the Eagles have more weapons to make those big plays, those Mario Manningham,
Right.
those David Tyree plays. I think they have more weapons to make them.
They have a Jai
Would,
and a
would,
LeGarrette
would you
Blount.
almost say that they have a bigger button?
A bigger button. Yeah.
Like a
I'd say
bigger-
that,
oh,
but
yeah,
at the
I'd
same
Yeah,
time,
that actually works.
But it's
Okay.
like, actually, I don't know. I would say they have more.
Shout out
They have
Trump.
more. They have more buttons.
They have more
but
buttons.
the Patriots have a bigger button.
They
Tom
have
Brady.
bigger
Tom Brady's a bigger bomb. Than
Would-
all the
Well, I
other
mean,
With
guys.
LeBron,
that's the
the
dilemma.
Eagles have two buttons,
Is
though.
it better to have more or just quantity over quality?
But I think Eagles have two buttons. They have Jay Ajayi and
Right.
LeGarrette Blount.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
them two
and
together.
Blunt would know their running structure. You
Yeah.
know, is that he knows their running defense. He's probably played against them in
That
practice.
is true.
But the Patriots have the ageless wonder, James Harrison. That man was playing like he
Yeah,
was like
let's not talk, let's not give credit to that
2008
guy.
James Harrison.
I don't think we need
If he
to.
has a 100-yard interception return, that'd be insanity.
Yeah. Well, let's hope against that.
But
But yeah, so
what I think is gonna my prediction. So we have 2 people predicting the Patriots are gonna win.
yes, we have
Yeah,
some-
I'm going
um,
Patriots.
I'm not-
It's a safe bet.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that it's like a Super Bowl 48.
What are you thinking about?
Really?
You think the Eagles
Yeah.
gonna stop with the Patriots like that?
I think it's gonna be like a Super Bowl
Does
48,
it start with a fumble?
where it's
Okay, we're not gonna. I'm a Broncos fan. If you don't know,
No,
and we're not
I
gonna
think-
rehash this memory.
because the Patriots are a terrible first half team.
Okay.
That's true.
So I think the Eagles are gonna are gonna, pun intended, soar
Right.
in the first half.
So do you think the
No
Patriots are
puns.
kind of a team where they kind of either let the opponent be better or they just straight up can't play in the first half because their
Oh, no, I don't
second
think that-
half
I don't think that-
adjustments are
I don't think that they
ridiculous.
straight up can't play in the first half. I just think that they so often make a lot of mistakes and fall behind in the first half. But they're a team that is so skilled at correcting mistakes and fixing what's wrong.
I think they had zero penalties on both offense and defense in the entire game
That's because
against
the
the
refs
Jaguars.
love the Patriots, though.
You think it's just the refs?
Did you see,
or is it just a
that ref
well-coached
celebrating
team?
with Tom Brady in the end zone?
That was actually pretty funny. I did enjoy watching that.
If I'm going to be honest, I could give a fuck about the Super Bowl. I'm all in it for the ad breaks.
They're all trash.
Oh,
this
we
year.
have
They're
a-
gonna be
Okay,
trash
yeah,
again.
okay,
They've been
yeah,
trash
okay.
the last
Advertising
two
major
years.
So, yeah.
But back to talking about football.
Yeah, fuck football.
My
Bad.
prediction before I was
Oh my God.
interrupted. Yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna blow out the Patriots 37-14.
37-14.
Andy,
Okay,
you've heard
that
it
is
here
that is a
first?
hot take
If that
right over
happens,
there.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but if that happens, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I think I'd
Mark
sell my Xbox.
My word.
Eagles
Well, it's
first
just
Super Bowl,
like
blow the
when we
Patriots.
were watching Super Bowl 51, and Aaron was like, "The Patriots are not going to come back," and I said, "Keep watching the football game."
Yeah,
And they came back.
yeah. That was a sad.
Julian
night.
Edelman made one of the greatest catches of all time.
I don't.
Finally, we
I
had
don't.
one happen for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you know how.
But
it
the
feels.
reason why, to talk about the reason why I want the Eagles to win is because I know what it's like to see your team lose the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I watched the Patriots lose twice to the Giants, and then I know how exciting it is to see your team win
Right.
when I saw them winning as the Seahawks and the Falcons.
Yeah.
And just knowing that Kate's a huge Eagles fan and all her family is such a huge Eagles fan, you know, I want other people to experience the joy that I felt seeing the Patriots win. So
Right.
I'm honestly not gonna be heartbroken if the Patriots lose because, fuck it. I mean,
Yeah,
they've still gone to more Super Bowls than any other team.
Yep.
And
They're not getting 6. I hope.
I mean, they might, but I hope they don't. But at the same time, they're a team that I think could be back there next year or
Okay.
the year after that.
How long do you think Brady has left?
They could go without Brady.
Okay.
Whoa.
So you're saying, hot take here, they can go without Brady.
Yeah.
Even though they traded away Garoppolo, who's doing wonders in San Francisco.
So who's
Yeah,
two sticking over
how
Brady?
often have you seen teams trade a player away and then get him back later?
Do
said
you
they
think
won't
they're
get him
going to
back.
get him back? San Francisco has a pretty high salary cap.
But also, they're a team that. Oh, I mean, we'll see how they do next year. I mean,
Okay.
we'll base that prediction off what their record is next year. But if the 49ers go 4-12 next year, I don't think Garoppolo's going to want to stick around there when he can go to a team that he thinks he can take 14-2.
He did win out and
did.
play
That's what I'm
against the
saying. He
Jaguars.
did win out. That's what I'm saying. It's up to how he does next year.
Okay.
When he has a full training
So
camp.
if he retains that same
Yeah.
prowess that he has this year.
Because at that point he'll have a full training camp preseason and whole season to play to show what he's worth.
Because your QB in waiting is Brian Hoyer.
Right, Brian Hoyer.
He don't want Brian
the
Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer, the Destroyer, though.
But-
That's right.
Y'all lost both. Josh McDaniels going to the Colts, and Atricia's going to the Lions to
Ooh.
coach next year.
But at the same
Oh,
time,
yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
I don't think it necessarily takes getting a quarterback that. I don't think it necessarily takes having that all-star quarterback, because I think what it takes is having somebody that can make that quarterback great.
Right.
Because I think all you have to do is look at the Patriots' record and Matt Castle's stats in the 2008 season.
When Brady went down.
Yeah,
They
Because
were 12-4 or 10-6?
they went 11-5.
11-5.
And Matt Castle had a fantastic
They
season.
still missed the playoffs too, right?
Oh, they missed the playoffs because the Dolphins went 11-5.
Oh, yeah, that was,
And then
that was
Matt
the
Castle
year.
went to the Chiefs, the team that
Yeah, but
took
then,
out Brady, which is
but then
ironic
look
to
at
me.
Matt Castle's
Oh, yeah.
performance when he played with. I mean, also you might say that Matt Castle did well because he had Randy Moss.
Yeah,
But
Randy Moss is a very, very
but I
big
think
threat.
that Bill Belichick is the type of coach, and he is surrounded by the sort of coaching staff that can make a player great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think Belichick stays there. You think he retires with Brady, or you think he stays?
No.
He stays.
No, I think because it might take less energy to get out there on the field and play than it does to be on this side and be a decision maker.
He doesn't seem to get stressed out.
As long as Belichick's mind is sharp, he can still be on the sideline coaching.
Yeah. Speaking of big changes next year, did you hear about Kirk Cousins and everything going on with him? And the trade
yeah.
of Alex Smith.
They traded Alex Smith to the Redskins
Yeah.
for a cornerback, up-and-coming quarterback. And the Redskins fans were so pissed because they really loved that cornerback.
Yeah.
And then he got traded to Chiefs.
Well, who's going to be the QB for the Redskins now?
Alex Smith.
Yep. And
Oh,
Kirk Cousins
yeah.
is being
Yeah.
traded.
And Kirk Cousins is he's a free agent, so he can sign with any team he wants to. They're saying that he wants to sign with the Jets,
The
the Broncos, or we have the Jaguars, sleeper pick.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd keep Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
I think that he's because I think that part of that team's no.
That strength is their
I changed
defense.
That. Yeah, their strength was their defense. Yeah, I think that if they were to find a really good quarterback, because I mean they were talking on ESPN and whatnot, like saying that it was a good thing that Bortles had more rushing yards in the game than he had passing yards.
Right.
Yeah, he had 89 rushing yards. That's a good thing. But if you have fucking 85 passing yards,
That's trash.
that is garbage.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even in the Steelers game, I think most of the touchdowns came from Fournette, right? There were
Yeah.
3 rushing
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I believe there was 1 defensive touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think when it comes down to it, I don't think he had the moxie to lead that game when he drives.
if you think about a lot of young quarterbacks, how many of them are really up and like Derek Carr had a lot of potential, and everyone says that it was his injury that really hindered him this year.
Picture this scenario. Tom Brady gets traded to the Jaguars.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord,
Did the Jaguars win the Super Bowl?
no, because
Tom Brady at 41 is what you're saying.
If at the end of this season some fucking wild voodoo shit happened and Tom Brady got traded
Right.
to the Jaguars, would the Jaguars win the Super Bowl? Would they win Super Bowl 53?
I don't know if they have. I mean, how many
Or
players?
would they at least go? Because I would argue that the Jaguars, quarterback aside, are a better team than the Patriots.
But are they the best team in their division?
Jaguars?
You have J.J. Watt
Absolutely.
coming back to the Texans, Deshaun Watson as well.
J.J. Watt's made of glass. Let's be
I'm
real.
just saying.
That's just, but I'm talking about a complete team
Right.
and complete defense that the Jaguars have, plus the addition of Tom Brady, versus teams that are terrible that have their own version of Larry Fitzgerald.
Right. Sort of the way their Brett Favre went to the Vikings. Or
No,
like
I'm gonna say sort of basically like Arizona Cardinals and Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Larry Fitzgerald carries that team to whatever it
And
does.
David Johnson, I would say, to the same
Yeah,
extent.
they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
what
say
Kirk
they
Cousins
do.
want to go there. Might go there too.
God.
Yeah.
Like Larry Fitzgerald back even when they had that Super Bowl run. Larry Fitzgerald had like 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, he
in
carried
some of
Kurt
those
Warner.
games in the
Nothing's
playoffs.
worse than seeing him look at himself running to the end zone in that Super Bowl. Thank God we won that game.
Yeah.
Bird proud.
That would have been worse. Could have came out real worse for you.
Yeah.
Plus Antonio Holmes.
But yeah. So I guess it's my turn for predictions. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I have the feeling that the Eagles will have some miracle defense that like stops Brady in a few drives. And I think that'll give them enough of a lead because they need to score. And I think they've proven that they can score.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can keep the lead. I think they win 28-21.
28-21.
No.
So it's split 2-2.
Yeah. I think Madden predicted the Patriots, so I believe in Madden. So that's why I picked the Patriots.
Do you remember when Madden predicted the Seahawks-Patriots game like correctly and the score was correct?
Yeah.
Really?
That was what.
Yeah.
Yeah, they predicted that it was going to be 28-24. The Patriots winning in a comeback, and that's like literally what happened.
I think Madden predicted the Panthers beat the Broncos, though, so I don't know.
Has the recent Madden, have they done a simulation on
Yeah,
that
they
yet?
did. They picked
who
the
won?
Patriots.
Okay. Do you know the
Patriots
score?
came back with a last-minute touchdown. It was
know
like
what the
back
score
and forth
was?
game.
That's
know what the
probably
score was?
exactly
I
what
think
it's
it
gonna
was,
be.
I want to say it was 35-28.
35-28.
See,
Yeah.
but I could see that
Yeah. That sounds
with
fair.
2 teams like that.
Because Nick Foles showed he can score when he wants to. But that Stephon Gilmore, the Patriots cornerback, he's nice. That game-stealing deflection he had against the Jaguars was beautiful.
Yeah, it was actually pretty impressive. Kind of similar to Malcolm Butler and his little
yeah.
miracle interception, huh?
But
A
not like
prediction
Von
that
Miller.
Danny actually got right before the play.
Von Miller sack
somehow.
fumble, though. Let's get that in the history books. MVP,
Yeah, let's
baby.
Post about that. But yeah, Dan, you were talking about Super Bowl ads earlier. You had any
Oh
favorites?
yeah, I mean,
or
I'm
something?
not like obviously you can tell from the past conversation. I don't have much to contribute. It's like when last session we were talking about with Austin and like the rap. Like there's only so much you can contribute to a conversation.
Right.
You either don't have interest in or you just don't know much about. So that's kind of my reason for that. But I'm not an ad junkie. I love ads. I actually do. I as any of you guys know, I don't pay for any premium things like that, like including Spotify.
Yes, he loves soaking in the ads.
I do. I like listening to them because it's the workforce I'm going into, and if I were to go against that, then that's like me saying, oh, let's not get paid in the future. You know, it doesn't make sense. And I think ads do bring something of value, and I think they can be pretty cool at times. Pretty cool. But I am looking forward to the ads because the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl of ads. It's the most people watching TV at this time of year, and that's when the companies bring it their all. And the past couple of years, I've actually been really disappointed. A lot of the ones that have gotten like coverage where like the Doritos what was that like monkey something.
That was that Mountain Dew
yeah,
joint, Puppy Monkey
and to
Baby.
be honest, like that got a lot of coverage.
yeah.
That shit was
And,
terrible.
and I hate what ads are doing.
It was
these
funny
days
though. I laughed.
because oh god, I hated it because what they're doing is
Puppy
they're
Monkey Baby.
saying, oh frick, people love Doritos. Let's do the most, and I hate that my brother and I always get at this, the most random thing possible.
They
and
do,
it's like oh, it's random. That's cool, but it's like it has no content, and I know it can be hard to bring something of value or like an emotional story for something Doritos. Like it's not going to happen, and they are going on their target audience. But at the same time, it's just something like
There's nothing clever to like random humor.
No.
and they're paying literally millions of dollars for these ads.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, I'd love to be in one. Cast me.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those
yeah.
fucking
I made
stats,
Doritos
and I'll
commercial in
take
high school.
$100,000.
Hey, if I'm ever working in a good ad agency, and if you're listening, please hire me. I'd love a job.
Yeah.
But if I'm ever working in one, Austin, you're definitely going in.
So I think there was I think it was a Skittles ad or something where they had like these arm wrestling competitions.
Oh yeah.
And they had
were like made of Skittles, right?
giant arms. and
Yeah,
they
now
were
Skittles
fighting.
is a little different because Skittles and Doritos do have similar commercials that they're really weird. But the
Like the
Skittles
Skittles
commercial,
box.
yeah, the Skittles box commercial. They still play that even in some movie theaters these days, which is
Yeah.
I
which
hate
is
that
weird.
commercial.
Oh, see, I love it, and it makes me uncomfortable and it's weird, but it is one of my favorite.
It makes
it's
me
so
not want to
memorable.
eat Skittles.
Because then you'll catch a chicken.
Exactly. You want no fucking Skittle Pox? Like, how's that appealing to?
Exactly,
How's that appealing to you?
Yeah, I get, and I guess that is kind of the
Because it's just supposed to be silly.
Yeah.
and I
It's
guess
supposed to
that-
be just a silly little TV spot. And the only times I ever see the Skittles Pox ads are on those children's channels, like fucking Nickelodeon or well, I mean,
Yeah.
actual.
Mhm.
The only one I've ever seen it on is Nickelodeon. I think I was
They-
watching
they do
George
have it on-
Lopez on fucking like Nick at
Nick at
Night.
Night.
Or
they do
yeah.
have it on Cartoon Network because I do
Yeah.
love Cartoon Network and
And
I
MTV
still
app.
watch it. Yeah.
That's what it was. MTV. That's where I
Yeah.
saw it. Yeah, because I was
Um,
watching Ridiculousness.
But I think the
Oh,
only
yeah.
Yeah, they
difference
had a
is
commercial on MTV.
for
a lot.
me, I think Doritos are just a little more obnoxious with it. It's a little more bam, 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 and Skittles is just like it's like a calm, almost awkward, funny. You
Yeah.
know.
Right. Yeah, nothing like the Chevrolet ads, and I.
Oh, I
don't
hate car
understand.
commercials. I don't under-
The real people.
Car
not
commercials are
actors commercial.
trash.
I don't know who thought it was a good idea. They
Danny,
have
give us a
black-
car
I'm a
commercial,
real
Danny.
actor.
When you
Not a
drive a
person.
Chevy, you know you live in America. You love women, and guess what? You love bacon and steak. This ain't no pussy China shit. This is a Chevy.
They have
That's
this,
every Chevy
They have
commercial.
this Black Friday ad where they're like, you see all these people shopping, and it's just a TV show.
They have black people in it, though?
Making A bunch of people running through the crowds, looking at stuff. I don't know. I actually don't remember how often I've seen a black person
In a
on the
Black Friday
commercials.
commercial?
But they,
You would think.
no, but specifically the Chevrolet
Really?
commercial. So they have this TV and they're like, you see all these people rushing to buy gifts? Why not buy a Chevy? who in their right goddamn mind just thinks, you know what? You're right. I don't need a TV. I need a car.
Well, that's the thing about.
That's these ads. I just.
I
don't
mean,
understand
Well, I
think-
would
think-
hope that
what you're
people, when
marketing
they're
to.
looking at their fucking budget and they're like, "What am I gonna get? A TV or a car?" I hope that they're like, "I can get more use out of this car,"
Well,
and not like, "Oh, I mean,
In all-
I
in all
really
fair-
gotta catch
That
fucking
Netflix show.
see
in all
us."
fairness, this is America, and we haven't been known to budget well. So,
Oh
like,
God, no.
Yeah, no, it's more important to buy a car.
I'm broke. What do? Hey, fuck it. Let's buy a house.
Yeah.
A double wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's always fun. But yeah, speaking of ad agencies, Mad Men. Ooh, that's a show. I just started watching season 1. Actually.
You just started, Mad
I
Men?
actually just.
Mad Men.
started,
I never
yes.
heard of that. What's that?
I
What's that
finished-
about?
See,
Give me a synopsis on that. I might
think
watch it
I've
next.
started Mad Men about 7 times, and I kid you not.
Is it on Netflix?
How do you watch
yeah.
it 7 different.
I watched it
Uh,
all
well,
the way
I-
through.
I started it 7 times, and I get about 3 episodes in, and I can't go any further.
Why?
It's for show. I mean, it's almost with people with me too. If I'm not hooked, then it's just nothing. Like
Yeah, that's right.
I get that.
I start it, and if it does not draw me in, if it's not making me crave anymore, then it means nothing to me. I could care less if it's in my life or not.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I totally understand that, and I'm the same way. If I start watching a show and there's something about it that doesn't make me crave to keep watching it, I'll stop.
Yeah.
But with Mad Men, I did have that, and I watched seasons 1 through 6 of Mad Men all the way through, and then watched the final few episodes as they came out. And actually, the only episode of Mad Men I ever watched live as it came out on TV was the series finale.
Well, that was a couple
Really?
years ago, right?
Oh yeah, the series
2014, I
ended
wanna say?
2015. It
2015.
was
It was
the
still on.
What's
yeah.
the- what's the
I
synopsis
watched
for the
that
show?
final episode about a week after I got back to New York after our freshman year ended.
Okay.
I watched was when that final episode came out.
Yeah, I remember seeing the advertisements for that final season. Netflix actually has a lot of good shows like that.
like a
just
Netflix
kinda
original?
No, it's not Netflix original.
No,
I
it's
think
AMC.
Yeah,
AMC.
it originally aired on AMC.
Now, know what I'm
But-
sick of I'm hearing about, and I love the show, so I don't want to get it wrong, but I hate, and this this is going to sound so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
I hate, it's going to sound very hipster. I hate when something I like becomes
You do live in Richmond.
mainstream.
Oh, yeah, I know
So,
what you mean.
for example, what's it called? What's the one with 11?
Black Mirror.
No.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Stranger Things, I love the show and it is great, but I am so tired of people saying, "Oh my God, did you see Stranger Things?" Like Black Mirror, I can actually do.
Well, see,
it.
that's what turns me off to not want to watch it.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Stranger Things
neither.
yet because of that fact.
Well,
because the fandom around it and all
Right.
people being like, it's so fucking good. And
It's
because,
like me in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
because there's just something in me. It's just something personal about me that like whenever a lot of people like something, I'm like I'm turned off to it.
Yeah. No, I
I
understand.
don't.
that.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't know why I'm
Well,
like that, but I just.
That was like me with This Is Us, Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
all that.
How is This
publicity.
Is Us? I
It's
can't
actually
imagine getting
very,
into
very
this.
good.
Now this is us.
It's very sad,
This
but
is
very
us.
good.
I cannot. I saw like. I've seen so many tweets about like, man, This Is Us brought tears to my eyes, and I'm
It's
like,
like- it's-
man,
that's
I get
real.
tears to my eyes from the smallest shit. I am not gonna
You get
watch
tears
this
in your
shit.
eyes
The
from watching
Walking
The
Dead
Office.
has made me bawl my eyes out.
Hey, I teared up when Ned Stark died. Ain't gonna lie to you.
Spoilers, bro.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I have
It's
experienced.
season.
I've experienced every range of emotion to Game of Thrones. I've experienced everything from bawling my eyes out to masturbating
Yeah.
to Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. So it's.
Is
I
it-
mean,
Lot
it's
of
just a
tits.
show for everyone.
Now is it sad
There's
that I
actually
can
not
say
that
the
much
same thing
anymore,
about
I'd
The
say.
Office?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert,
Are you
it's
saying
airing.
Are you saying lots of tits in The Office? Or?
No, I'm not saying lots of tits. I'm just saying every emotion that
Oh.
Austin just said. I think
You
I
masturbate
relate
to The Office.
Well, I'm not saying to The Office. I'm saying maybe characters
In The
Office.
Oh, so we masturbated to Pam or Jim's other girlforend?
You don't know the other.
Jim's
I forgot her
other-
name, dude.
See,
You know
it-
Ann
it-
Perkins?
Ann
That's her name?
Perkins. Well, that's the funny thing. 'Cause I
Oh,
can
yeah.
only remember her as Ann Perkins.
That's one.
I just call it the other girl. I only seen the
But-
episode. Like,
no,
season
okay,
one,
so
one through.
What is actually
me and
her
one,
name?
and we don't have to get too into this, but me and a
She was
friend
on
of
Saturday Night
mine
Live.
had this debate that Pam's actually a bitch, and and no, actually, and that Jim should have went with Ann Perkins because Ann Perkins was actually a good person and they were a great fit, and Pam is this person that led Jim on for a long time, and then even when they're together, doesn't really treat him well. If you think about it, she doesn't do much, and in a lot of ways, she only complicates his life and makes his dream of pursuing something greater more difficult.
Right. Ann Perkins also is played by Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones, oh my God, she is so beautiful. I love her.
So you
But
masturbated to her.
there,
Yes, we saw.
there are a few people on the cast that I think are very attractive. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we'll sum it up with that. But yeah, no, I think the show. Do you think it kind of? I know everyone has their split feelings about how they felt about it after Michael Scott left. Do you have any?
Well, I mean, okay, so I don't want to get too much into it because The Office is something that it's just like Stranger Things.
Spoiler alert:
It's-
Michael Scott leaves.
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry, spoiler.
Yeah. I don't really care. I liked the show when Michael was on. Well, I love the show when Michael was on, but I also liked it when it was off. I think
They
there's
didn't really miss a beat for
there's so
Not for
many
me.
memorable moments that happens when he's off. So
Idris
if you
Elba.
just say, oh, it's not as it's such a great cast, to undermine that and say, oh, it's not a good show when one character leaves, that's just disrespectful.
To undermine?
I don't know, dude. You know, I'm not good with vocab. Was not the best in fourth grade with that,
You're mean.
but yeah. So I don't know. I think it's still a great show.
So do you have any qualms with Black Mirror or any other popular
No,
show?
oh my
I've
God,
never seen Black Mirror either.
Black Mirror is the Twilight Zone of our generation.
Agreed.
It's absolutely amazing. I don't care if it's mainstream because I think every episode
It should be.
Every episode is a beautiful work of art,
Yeah.
and it's every episode points. It's a social commentary. It takes something from what we have and shows the truth about it. That's
And
what I
it also
appreciate about
does exactly what you were talking about last night, where it almost takes what you were talking about last night to the extreme, where you were complaining that they'll drag a movie series out until like just keep using the same material, the same characters over and over again. Where Black Mirror, each episode is an individual story with an individual purpose with different
Exactly.
actors.
But
It's
there
very
are
creative, too.
ties
That's
to
very creative.
previous episodes.
Yeah, well, there are.
There's ties, but it's a whole. It's each episode is a chance to go back to go and like restart the creative cycle.
Right.
And so you're
It's
not.
like it's an anthology series.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, all of Black Mirror is spoiler alert. But
Yeah,
okay,
there
so
we go,
all
yeah.
of Black Mirror is contained within one universe. Now the thing with Black Mirror and their episodes is like Austin was saying, every episode is a different aspect of that universe. So it's not
It's a totally different story,
It's-
and they have totally different themes.
with characters and everything. So it's all developed in a world. So I think it's different.
Have you seen the most recent season?
I've watched.
Yeah, but like even look at the variation between, like, I'll just be vague in how I describe these episodes, but you'll have one episode which, you know, is very dramatic and really serious and has to do with something like that's happening on Earth in society, and you'll have another episode that is literally like a comic farce and it takes place in space. Like, it's two totally different stories that are being told in two totally different ways, but they're in the same series.
Right.
And I really like that because it's something new every time, and it's not just recycling the
Exactly.
material. It's not like those, you know, when they just drag out a movie and make a sequel and then a third one and then a fourth
Well, even one of the newer episodes in the new season, the art styles are completely different. If you look at, I think I don't know, remember if it's the second last. I don't even know the name of it, to be honest. But the whole episode is shot in black and white, which is actually a really complicated thing to do, and it's really hard
It's like a,
to do well,
And make it look
especially
good.
with color and visuals, and especially now with cameras these days. It's actually a little more difficult to make something black and white look well, and better than it would in color. But they do that, and you're completely separated from the whole this world of Black Mirror, and you're just drawn into this one episode for what it is. And I think that's extraordinary. That's something you don't see in shows.
Yeah.
Didn't you? So what did you think about? You told me today that you finished watching Schindler's List last night.
did.
What did you think about it being filmed in black and white?
Yeah, so that was really interesting. So Schindler's List, it's a very powerful movie, and it'll make you think a lot of things. But watch it for yourself. It is hard to get through, though. I watched it from 3 different times because it is a 3-hour movie. It's very lengthy.
It's a 3-hour movie. Wow.
But it's worth it. It's so powerful. Now the movie is primarily shot in black and white, but there are small scenes or small objects.
I can only think of one moment in the whole movie that has color.
Yeah, there's
a little girl's red dress.
Yeah, there's a few, and I think those moments are very symbolic for a lot of reasons. I know. Yeah, okay, they're very symbolic for certain reasons, but I like that because the black and white, We're talking about Star Wars again. But the black and white, it almost makes you feel like you are living in the past in some kind of way. It's like looking in old photos of your grandparents or something like that. The black and white,
right.
And it makes you think it's a different time. So in a way, it takes you away and it says, "Oh, this I can't relate to this. This is the past." But the emotion and everything in the film, it makes it all so real for you. It really does.
Yeah, kind of. There was a film in 2011. I just looked it up. I forgot about it. The Artist was actually a film that was in black and white, and I actually think it won the Oscar for Best Picture.
Yeah, I remember hearing a lot of credit for
And
that.
I think a lot of criticism was for it as an artistic movie. I think it was also a silent film, in addition. I'm not exactly sure about that. I had to probably double check on that. But yeah, it seems like a really great film, and I wish that I kind of really got into the black and white category because a lot of the issues with it is seeing something drained with color. It's kind of hard to convey, let's say, emotion or tone of a movie where it's just it's great. It's monotone, and that's like a big issue. I feel like people
black
see
and
with
white
it.
brings this certain I don't know how to say this. Black and white, you focus a lot more because you're focused more on what's moving. So color is very it's beautiful, but it's very distracting in this way. But in a black and white movie, you're focusing on the moving objects, who's the speaker, what's going on, the context of the film. You're not like in these new movies with the ton of CGI. Don't get me wrong, I love CGI. I think it's amazing, and all these new effects that are going on. But you get so overwhelmed with everything that's going on that you're just kind of like,
your brain is responding more to like the visual triggers.
exactly.
All of the your mind is more thinking, oh, what a nice shot, oh, what nice effects, instead of when it's in black and white, it really just makes it simplistic, and you're just focusing on what is actually happening.
Right. Would you have like the same criticisms towards like Man of Steel or anything like DC
No,
movies that have
I think
heavy
every
CGI?
movie. I don't think every movie should be in black and white. I think that should take away from it. Some of these movies that have like Man of Steel or some of these.
I'm referring to movies that have heavy CGI. In
No,
contrast to,
I
like,
don't
the
think there's
black and
anything wrong with it. I think some of it's needed, and honestly, I like a lot.
Superhero
of it.
movies need CGI.
Yeah, because
some
it's
need
what
it,
brings
definitely.
it to life. If you look back at the comics and how much art and everything's put in there, and how much, all the stuff that's going in on one piece of paper,
Right.
it doesn't even compare to the movies. The CGI has nothing.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
think-
like Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings movies couldn't exist 50 years ago.
Right.
You need the CGI technology to be able to create those massive, armies and
Now-
the huge cities and
Yeah.
stuff.
Now, I
Yeah.
would say older movies, they do seem a little bit more dry, but I think older movies, they're a lot more quiet. There's a lot more pauses. If you watch
Yeah.
a new movie, there's not going to be you will never see a new movie now or watch a new movie that has a minute of silence in it. Older movies are that was normal because it was
Pause
more
like dramatic
natural.
effect.
And it wasn't even dramatic. It was just a
This is
normal.
just-
and
This is how real people are.
yeah, normal spoken language. You're not always communicating. It's not always bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, there's not always something
quick
going on
line.
the
This was
screen or
clever.
something.
Like people just talk. Even in this
Yeah.
in this podcast, we just talk normal. We make mistakes when we do it, and that's what they did in older movies, which was it was beautiful and it's great for storytelling.
I think it's a different
Yeah.
acting style too.
Plus, it's like hitting because like now they're hitting you with one line.
Yeah,
like,
well-
you're missing some key lines.
Well,
in a
that's because
movie.
everyone
For
these days has an
grandiose.
attention span
Yeah.
of
Movies were also a lot longer back then too.
they were. Yeah.
Nowadays I think people have to be conscious of we need to create something that's entertaining, that after at the very most 2 hours people aren't like,
Right.
okay, is this over yet?
Well,
Yeah.
I think there's a movie that kind of blends both, and I'm going to say that's Logan. Logan was almost 3 hours, wasn't?
Yeah, Logan was pretty long.
Like 2 hours in.
yeah, could you look that
Logan
up?
was pretty long.
Didn't that get nominated for some
Logan,
Yeah.
and it
Logan was a really good
Logan
movie.
but if you actually think about Logan, there was not a ton of action in Logan. A lot of Logan,
It was all dialogue.
It's a 2 hour
it
and
was a
21
lot of
minute movie.
dialogue. It was a lot of sitting on the road.
Yeah, it's just old
It
Logan.
was old, and it's old man Logan.
Yeah.
That is who it is. And I think that was the perfect send off. It was
For
a
Hugh
long
Jackman,
movie, but for me, I wasn't wondering when is this gonna end. It was just like, this is such a great story that I don't want it to end. I feel like it's gonna.
Yeah.
I feel like I could sit in this seat and watch this until this man dies of old age, and just have it played all out.
Yeah.
So, knowing the comic book medium, do you think some of the films would work better as animations rather than
Oh, completely,
real life?
completely.
Like which ones?
Well, I'll tell you this: the DC universe is amazing in animation.
So they should just stop making movies.
I don't. No, I don't think they should stop at all.
They should
I
just
think
put
they.
more funding into what they do with animation.
Yeah.
I think they already pull out a lot, so they're already strong in that suit.
I was saying they should that maybe instead of dedicating so much resources to
Live action.
live action, they should, make the animation even more amazing.
Yeah.
Like make it like a Pixar type.
In my
DC
opinion, I would
movie.
say I completely understand that. I would say animation itself is doing great with everything it has. I think just for live action, just put a little more time in it. Don't rush it out. And
Don't rush out
that's
a
it,
script.
because they have such a great cast of characters, of storylines, of actors that want to play the roles. There are so many actors that want to play the roles of these superheroes
Just
that would
pumping
do
them out.
amazing at them, and they really do. They have great cast. They have great directors.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is DC is not a bad company. What happens is you get a mix of business demands with a mix of creatives, and
Yeah.
that does not blend well. And so you get a bunch of people who are saying, I have this vision. They're saying, okay, we'll make that vision in 20 seconds with this budget.
Yeah.
Like
That
how
doesn't-
Suicide Squad had a bunch of reshoots recently. And I think
Exactly.
most recently, the Han Solo movie's having a lot
Yeah,
of them
and,
as
and
well.
that can happen with any movie.
You just
can,
trying to pump out. You're trying to
can
rush
have-
out for money.
you can have such an amazing idea, and it can go to complete shit just because that's how business works.
Yeah.
People want to make money from it. They don't care about your vision. They're saying, I'll give you $1 million, but guess what? This is coming out by February.
Well, it's also because the companies that produce the movies, they like set a timeline. I'm sure they're like, okay, just for marketing purposes, when is this movie going to come out? Because it's probably for marketing purposes and also for the fact that whatever company is producing that movie is probably also producing 8 other movies.
Yeah.
And so they want...
At least
Yeah.
8 other movies.
They should have took their time because what they did, Batman vs Superman, then we got Wonder Woman, and then we got Justice League. It was like
It was
boom,
well,
boom,
I
boom.
think it's because they're
Man of Steel
rushing
first.
to pick up a Marvel.
It's not maybe not even to pick up with the amount of movies that Marvel's making. I think they're just trying to remain as relevant as Marvel. I think that
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, because Marvel pumps out all these movies, and each movie has so much hype around it.
Yeah.
So DC doesn't. In DC's mind, it's not. Let's take our time and make a really good movie, and then let people be hyped about how fucking good that movie was. It's let's just pump out movie after movie after movie, and just generate that hype around them coming out, but regardless of the quality of the movie.
And I'll say this so we don't talk about comics too long because I don't want to get set on one topic or idea for too long.
Right.
But so there's always this like ever-ending battle. It's like the same with Xbox or PlayStation of DC versus Marvel. And I'll say this: Marvel owns the cinematic universe. There's honestly no debate about it. If you were being an unbiased critic, there's no doubt about it. But DC, for animated series, DC is above and beyond with that. They crank out multiple movies a year that are sometimes even better than the cinematic universe that will come out in Hollywood. They're absolutely amazing. Great storytelling, great characters. They bring comics to life, and sometimes it's original stories too. At the same time, DC Comics are and I may need a fact check on this, but I'm pretty sure DC Comics are majority of the time outselling Marvel Comics. DC has amazing storytelling, and that's the sad thing about the cinematic universe is there's so much they can do with the storytelling. The characters are so great, they really are. With that though, Marvel TV shows, it's the same with their cinematic, their Hollywood, the movies, that they do take a little bit more time with them. They are a little more well funded, and I think they are. They're better.
I think Warner Brothers is getting old, and Disney is like out with the old Warner Brothers, in with the new Disney.
I know. Yeah. I just think they have different strengths and different weaknesses.
No, I'm saying, but
Disney got that money.
But money aside, I mean, I think that it is largely that. But to me, and I could be totally wrong, but I'm just guessing that the people who run Warner Brothers are probably older.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people who run Disney are probably younger.
Yeah, what you'll see with a lot of because I follow a lot of comic writers and concept artists, what you'll see is a lot of the people that work with Marvel and DC, they're the same people. They switch over. Even the writers and everything, they switch back. Even not as much.
I'm speaking in terms of producers.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the people actually writing.
Yeah, I don't know about that, so I can't.
I definitely believe that they switch back and forth. Whoever's being like the creative team.
The creative head.
Very often.
But I definitely believe they do that. But I'm speaking in terms of the people who fund these projects and that do have some power over how it is made.
Right.
I'm thinking that the people from Warner Brothers are probably older, more traditional, whereas the people working for Disney are probably younger and looking more toward are more innovative, more entrepreneurial in what they're creating.
Yeah, Kathleen Kathleen Kennedy, I think, is one of the heads of the Star Wars universe. I think she's the overseeing like production or on one of the ends, and then you have people on DC end like Zack Snyder. He's one of the directors. You have kind of these like contrasts and like heads and ideas and everything they have. Where you have Zack Snyder, who's like someone who sees. I think he has a lot of religious elements to some of his movies.
It's more of. It's more of he likes icons.
Iconic. Yeah, it's symbolic.
Symbolism. He likes a lot of symbolism, which I absolutely like. His comparisons to Superman and Jesus Christ, I think, are like it's out of this world. I mean, that's even like I in my head I have my own like universe, like my own like comic universe of how I would do things, and that completely inspired me. Like I think that it's great. Zack Snyder gets a lot of crap, but I love his work.
Yeah, definitely. He was actually kicked off. Well, he didn't kicked off. He had to step down
He
from
stepped for personal
Justice
reasons.
League for personal reasons, and I believe
And,
Joss Whedon was the one who stepped
Yeah,
down.
and what you can see if you follow a lot of fans and everything on social media, what you're going to see is that these fans are all saying, "Give me the Snyder cut."
That was Austin making
Austin choking on the mic.
choking on his mic, almost like I guess Joss Whedon choked at making a good movie.
That's when you can't fucking write.
I don't know if it's writing. I mean, like
was
we talked
writing.
about earlier, it's a lot of changing
What
ideas.
was that line that she said in the movie? She was like, she said it's about Superman. I forgot she said Superman. Lois Lane. Remember me and you, we looked at each other and started fucking laughing.
Did you
at
say
that.
Martha?
I don't know.
Is this in Man of Steel or in
This
Justice
is
League?
Justice
in
League.
Justice League.
She said the dumbest shit.
I don't want to talk.
You know what I
about
still have never seen?
What a movie?
Batman vs Superman.
Really?
Dawn
Wow.
of
We,
Justice.
we
I
own
have-
it.
Yeah, no, I still have never seen
But
it.
yeah,
But
if you're gonna watch
just
it,
because
watch
I
it,
wasn't interested
watch
in it.
the extended version. The extended version is absolutely
Just
it's
because-
gorgeous.
Do you think that so many things were taken away from it? that
No,
the
I don't
extended
think so
version-
my
many things
God.
are taken away from it. I just think it's a stupid fucking premise for a movie because there's just like, I think that you really have to stretch the. I mean, it is a fantasy world. It is a comic book world, but you really have to stretch what Batman is and Batman's abilities to think that he could even become close to Superman.
I would completely disagree with that.
There's actually a
Judging
really
on-
good
judging
end.
I
on-
shouldn't have said anything because I didn't want to have like an argument about. I didn't want to have an
Yeah.
argument
No,
about
it's fair.
something as fucking juvenile and stupid as Superman,
Yeah.
like versus Batman,
That's right.
which is why I didn't want to say anything. But that's why I didn't watch the movie because it just didn't make sense to me, so I didn't want to see it.
I won't
Right.
I won't have a debate with it because we could go on.
Because it's just
Yeah.
I'm not even going to respond because it's a silly debate. It's
Yeah.
a childish thing
Well,
to
I-
argue
well,
about. So I don't
for
want
you,
to
for you, that's not, for it's not silly for me because it's an interest of mine.
Right.
But for me, if you were to, and it doesn't matter if you do or you don't, but if you were to watch the
What
movie,
have
I
I
think
done?
they do explain it in a way that it makes a little more sense.
I think you have to suspend disbelief and have to like be like, oh, this is a comic book movie. This is a superhero movie. Of course, for the plot, Batman would have this, but would he really?
So
like,
do you
would
think
he? Like, of course, for the plot, he's able to do this, but would he really?
Would you only give that excuse for comic book movies then? Do regular, normal movies not get the same
yeah, I was
kind
gonna
of
say. I
basics?
think all movies kind of have that. Going into a horror movie, you kind of have to say, okay, this is a horror movie. That's why people are acting this way. If it's a romance movie, no shit, they're gonna be acting a little more.
No,
up in
that's
the air.
no. There's something different. I'm saying there's a difference between a movie that is set in reality,
Okay.
and I'm able to criticize the actions of like a character versus another character and say, oh, they shouldn't have done this, they shouldn't have done that, or oh, they couldn't have done this or couldn't have done that. But in the superhero movie, I guess just because, like, you're able to you're as the writer, as the creator, you're able to just say, oh, he's a superhero. Let me just give him this ability or this ability or this ability.
Right.
And so to match Superman, it's on. But but if you were to like look at like originally what they were written as and what the characters created
Right.
as, if you were to look at,
It was started
like
as
you
a,
could not convince me that you could take fucking the Batman that is in the Dark Knight
Right.
and the like Christian Bale's Batman, that character, or even just like Batman and other stuff. You just can't convince me that guy who is an Earth, who is like a from Earth, a human being,
Mm-hmm.
and is relying on their intelligence and their mechanical skills to be able to build things. Yeah, that and their intelligence and their their ability to use whatever tools they need.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing, and that's amazing. But
Okay.
you're going up against somebody who's from another planet, who, when they're on this planet, can fucking fly, can fucking shoot can literally sitting like
What?
like why?
I think
Like
that's
there's
the,
so many different there's so many different things that like. There's so many different ways that Superman could just one-hit kill Batman and it
Right.
just be over. And I feel like for the movie to exist, Superman has to not make that choice.
Right.
The only reason a conflict can exist between Batman and Superman and them actually fight is for Superman to make the decision that he's not going to just immediately kill Batman.
and if you-
Because in a real situation, Superman could kill Batman
like that.
Well, in the case of the movie, that the first option was the choice.
Yeah, I think he actually. Spoiler alert. He says his mother's name. I think.
We're not getting into that. Okay, but for me, the concept is the ancient old concept of it's God versus man, and they even highlight that in the movie. It's saying, can a man take on a god?
I mean,
and that is what I love about it. That's because this isn't something that's new. This is something. If you go, I'm not going to name
Greek
historical
area.
things because I don't have the knowledge to do it.
Okay.
But in ancient mythology, it's the same kind of man taking on God.
David and Goliath.
Can you take on your creator, or if it's not
So
your
was
creator?
Goliath God and David was the man?
No, but it's sort of like the underdog.
Okay.
Right.
The underdog.
Yeah.
It's the underdog. Can the person who represents man and what man stands for, can they take on someone that has more than that?
Yeah, I mean, guess what I'm saying. For the purpose of creating that plot, you have to throw in those things that give the underdog the ability to not just be killed in a fucking second.
It's like wrestling.
in the comics and movies, they do set it up so he has that
but
advantage.
like, let's just say, like, for a hypothetical, if the Christian God of the Bible existed and I tried to go to war with him, he could just fucking dissolve me in dissolve me in thin air. And but if someone were to make a movie about it and the purpose of the movie be to show that I could fight against God, they would invent all of these different plot points and all of these different things that would make me be able to stand up against it. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't want to watch that movie because the entire time I would be thinking, why doesn't God just fucking zap the fucking shit out of him? And so the entire time I would be watching Batman versus Superman, I would be like, why doesn't Superman just fly up just grab Batman by the fucking throat, fly him to Pluto, and leave him there?
Well, I think
and then go back, and then it'd be the movie.
In one
done.
of the movies, doesn't Superman reverse the world and turn back time?
Why doesn't he just throw Batman into the sun and just be like, thanks for trying?
There's one answer, and it's gonna probably upset you, but it's the tragic flaw of all characters. It's their kryptonite. Everyone has a kryptonite, and Superman's is legitimately.
That's
fun
the plot
fact
point
about
that makes
that.
Superman
But
human.
that's what I'm saying.
Why didn't he grab his ass when he doesn't have kryptonite in his hand and take him
at that
to the
point,
sun?
Superman didn't have a reason to. Batman approaches him.
By the time, so when they first start fighting,
What have you done?
What have I done?
no, it's ironic that I said I didn't want to debate this. But
we don't have to go on.
But I just think it's just funny to me that in the movie, do they start having a conflict in which they're trying to hurt each other?
No.
Before kryptonite is introduced.
No. So it's also
see, that's what I'm saying. That's just fucking stupid.
It's
they had
fun-
to invent kryptonite for
kryptonite.
Kryptonite actually is also.
I'm sorry, there's so much. There's
Yeah,
so
no,
much
you're good.
no, I know there's more to it. I've fucking seen all of the 1970s superhero movies of Superman.
Yeah.
I know how kryptonite's been used in the other ones, but it's just it's a silly plot.
Yeah,
a device.
I was gonna add to it.
There's a better way to show Superman has a weakness than to be like, oh, here's a rock.
Yeah, kryptonite actually wasn't originally his weakness. I believe Superman didn't have
There.
Wasn't
kryptonite.
Lois Lane's
They
vagina
added
his
it
weakness
later.
first?
I believe Superman was
Actually, yes.
created during World War II. I think his character was.
Yeah,
started
but
with-
He was invented as a propaganda tool.
Right, he was a propaganda, and
Most superheroes were.
and I
Captain
think
America.
kryptonite was introduced. I think years later because they had I think a radio comic show where they broadcasted some of the Superman comics over the radio, I believe, and they kind of added kryptonite as a later weakness to him to I guess make him more human. And you have Batman who started out as simply a detective.
So
I
do you
think he started out
Detective
Detective Comics.
Comics.
So
was
do
the
you
whole
think when
reason.
Lois Lane's mad at Superman, does she use kryptonite as a dildo? So when he goes inside of her, he becomes weak.
Thank you for the change of topics. I really appreciate you coming in there, Quincy.
Lovely interjection.
No, but I mean,
But yeah, it's funny. Like I said, I didn't want to debate it, but we ended up talking about it because it's something that I wouldn't be able to stop thinking about while watching that movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to be like, dude, why do you not? I mean, they're just like, why do you Superman? You're way smarter than he is.
Yeah, well, I think
They completely eliminate that fact, and that happens across all of
Batman's
the
savvy,
Justice
too.
League stuff. Like, Batman is really smart. Bruce Wayne is really smart. Superman is smarter.
I would not agree with that. But okay, what I'm saying though is I think with watching anything,
The way they explain Superman's backstory and his race and his race's intelligence, I don't understand how he's not more intelligent than Batman.
I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not the smartest for his race.
Oh, God.
Maybe the weak of his race is the equal to ours. But what I'm saying
Was that English?
Yeah, I don't really know
I'm
what
saying
you were saying
maybe
there.
the weak his species. If you're weak or you're not smart in his race, maybe that's our average.
You're saying that his race.
Oh,
must,
so you're saying the I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The
Their dumb is
slower
our
people.
average.
Okay. No, that their dumb is our smart.
Yeah, what you're
Sure,
saying
yeah.
is that they'd be less intelligent because what they know.
Yeah.
Isn't-
But there's so many moments throughout. There's so many moments throughout any like representation of Superman where they demonstrate how smart he is, and then like demonstrate how smart Bruce Wayne is, and he's smarter in certain situations. But then they contradict that by making Batman talk down. I don't know.
Batman.
I feel like they had to. I feel like whoever was writing it was like, we need to make Batman smarter than Superman, so Superman's doesn't have everything.
Batman is
it's a brain kind of
strategic,
bronze
though.
versus situation.
Batman will make you think he's smarter than you. I mean, Batman will make you think that you're smarter than him, and it's a part of his plan. He is and I hate to talk about it because he's not even a real person, but he's a master at this. He will make a plan out, and he'll make it so you're about to fucking kill him, and he says, haha, guess what? I knew this was gonna happen. Boom, you're dead. Wait, he won't say boom, you're dead because that's not it.
I think Batman is a fucked up representation of the power of the 1%. And
my
how
God.
you can accomplish anything as
Him
long
and
as you
Tony
just
Stark.
have unlimited
Hey, fuck
funds.
Tony Stark. You heard it here first.
Batman and Tony Stark are just
What are you, Hank
propaganda
Pym?
tools of the American dream.
Fuck Tony Stark.
I wouldn't say
Fuck
Superman
Steve
is
Rogers.
I stuttered, so I'm not
And
even
it
Yeah,
doesn't
it doesn't
matter.
even
Okay, I guess
start.
we're changing.
Bucky.
Not
Austin's
I guess
mic
we're
now
changing
has a
topics
10
now.
minute 10-minute pause.
Yeah, we're gonna pause the timer. So, you guys were talking earlier. I know it's flu season right now. There's like some
God.
disease going by getting vaccines, or what is going on? With the
Where you
whole
get a disease
CDC?
from getting a vaccine?
or something like the flu shot. I don't know.
I think
something-
you're just
Oh,
talking about the
fuck no,
standard flu
baby.
that's been around.
Yeah, what we were
forever.
talking about.
Was it a different
Well, no, we
strain?
were
Like,
just-
it's a deadly strain.
Yeah,
Seriously.
talking about how you had to kind of get in.
Remember swine flu?
Well,
injected
January?
with the
Oh god, I
strain.
do remember swine flu was actually a scary
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
that was like I was like, oh, it's
yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
the new Black Plague. Like,
I got a shot in 8th grade. I got disease in me. So.
Yeah, I remember swine flu.
Ooh, I
But do you,
don't-
we had
wait,
them at school.
Speaking of swine flu, do you remember mad cow disease?
Oh yeah,
now
no,
that-
that shit was wild.
I'm now
that-
embarrassed that we debated Superman versus Batman,
I've
so I'm going to be
never-
quiet for a few minutes.
I've never, dude. I would talk about that till
No,
my death.
but mad cow
I will,
disease.
however, debate Spider-Man versus Hulk.
Hulk
oh,
would beat-
okay.
Spider-Man would beat the shit out of
We're-
Hulk.
We are not gonna debate that.
Talking so much, yeah, but I don't know how many of you guys eat. Well, some of you don't eat pork, right?
I
Or
eat
some-
pork. I eat anything.
Everyone eats pork here.
Except for ass.
Everyone eats pork.
Yeah.
Pork is delicious.
So mad cow disease.
am
I
not
believe I couldn't get pepperoni in my pizzas for like I think how long did it last? Like a year or something.
I don't know
Something
when
like
that was.
I have to tell you, I was still eating.
Wasn't
pork
that like
during that time?
06, 07?
I think it was around that time. Yeah, that was like we had mad cow disease, like swine flu and avian flu, or what
Swine
did-
flu was
yeah.
when we were in middle school.
Yeah.
What was
Swine flu was 8th grade.
Hey,
Remember
let's
that.
not forget about Zika.
Zika, that was last year, wasn't it?
That was during the actually Olympics. That
When was
during the-
Ebola? Was that our
That was
freshman year?
Ebola. That was like 2014, 2015.
God, nothing's better than diseases when people make memes out of
You
it.
know what is a really scary thing? It is diseases like that because, and people don't think about it when people have these doomsday scenarios all the time.
Right.
But no one ever thinks about the thing that's actually most likely to kill a large number of us, and that's disease.
Yeah.
Like,
The white settlers didn't know that.
oh yeah,
They found out though.
we
No, the Native Americans found out.
Yeah, true. Everybody found out.
but
Hey,
I'm sure. I doubt that the white settlers were as affected by disease as the natives that they gave it to.
Because they never seen it before, so they never
Oh
exposed
no,
to it.
yeah,
They
millions
didn't-
and
and-
millions of people
Yeah.
died.
and naturally
because
they
of
didn't have
sickness.
to either because that was the way their environment
Yeah.
shaped them.
Mhm.
But
Was
Well-
it like were the white settlers like more dirty than the Native Americans? Or was
No,
it like,
it's just
was
they-
it
they
a
were-
population
they
They
environment?
just
were-
carried diseases that were from where they lived.
this
Okay.
it's the same as kindergarten. You get a bunch of little rascals coming in, and each one has a differerent home that they come in with a bunch of different dirt and
Yeah.
bacteria, and they come
Like
in. and
chicken
they get
cheese
all
is
like a
sick.
fucking
Or you think
cesspool
about
of
ticks you
germs.
get whenever you go camping. They developed a disease from like carrying like deer ticks.
Yeah.
We developed it from transferring.
disease, yeah.
like Lyme disease.
Like I went to fucking Chuck E. Cheese. I came out with an ear infection and pink eye.
And that's what
Yeah.
that's what happens. Because
But like that goes to my point. Like you see how susceptible we are to contracting an illness from not necessarily from something foreign or a foreign person, but from no, not at all from a foreign person. Because then you're getting into the topic of like, do we ban immigrants over disease? And that's just fucking dumb.
So should we ban immigrants because it's safer and we're going to be less exposed to different viruses?
Build that damn wall.
No, I don't think so.
Jesus
I think that the
Bacterial
solution
wall.
is to really, really fund research into
sarcasm
diseases
carry
and
over
arm
a
ourselves to combat them. Because, like, have you seen that movie Contagion?
Sarcasm.
Oh, jeez, that movie.
Can you imagine if that happened in real life?
I washed my hands for the most I think I've out of my life. Like every time I had hand sanitizer everywhere. Like for a week.
Exactly
I was just
100
like,
well, 100 years ago this year, like 1917, 1918, there was
Spanish flu, right?
There was the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
The Spanish flu killed as many people as World War II did.
Shit.
Right. I think it was a quarter of some of the
the people who died from World War II died over a period of 6 years.
Right.
The people who died, but the Spanish flu killed as many people as World War II did in 6 years, but it did it in months.
Yeah, there's always those silent killers where you kind of just don't pay attention to them because it's something like.
It's just like farts. Silent killers are the worst.
Yeah, silent but deadly, man.
It really is.
Honestly.
They are.
It's
the
funny
silent
because
killers.
Zach and Danny
But I love
fart
those
like shit,
loud,
but it don't
broken
smell.
trumpet ones.
Yeah,
But that one fart I do when it's silent, the
I
whole
think
place is out.
I think the question of the day is: are farts ever not funny? Like,
Yes.
grow up.
Okay.
Be
when,
mature.
when you're in a place and you have to fart and you're like, I wish I didn't have to fart.
Yeah.
That's the only time it's not funny is when you have to fart when you don't want to.
Yeah.
I honestly think
Any other time it's fucking hilarious.
it's hilarious. I really do. See me like it's funny because I'm a hypocrite in so many aspects of my life, and farting
Aren't
is
we
one
all?
of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
But like, I will not fart in front of a significant other or somebody that I'm interested in.
Oh, I will
Oh,
fart
how
on
long?
cake.
Well, I think there's debate to that because I think you can get comfortable enough with a significant other where it doesn't matter. I think
Yeah, but it's gonna take me more than a few years for that.
a few years.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't because yes.
Why?
For my own-
Why would it take a few years?
I don't care if they do.
Okay.
I don't want to do it myself because I
think
have
you would suffocate
I
them?
have no because I have so many bad sides to myself, and if I open one door, oh man, they're all coming out, and I'm not going to be sexually. They're not going to be
We
sexually
talking about
attracted to
therapy?
me.
Or are we talking about women?
I think that's a dangerous.
I'm lost.
That's dangerous though. I think that if you hide aspects of yourself just because you're worried that the person you're with won't be sexually attracted to you, then years later when they discover those things about you, they're gonna like their whole understanding of who you are is gonna be flipped on its head, and then that's how you're gonna get the ex-wife you want so badly.
Okay,
Right.
well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm getting that
Yeah.
ex-wife. Putting that on the books now. But I would agree with that to a point. I do think you kind of have to ease into them though. Like other aspects of my life that I may not be proud of, I might introduce earlier. But farting is just not one of them. That's something like later.
That is funny to me because it's just something so silly.
It is.
So-
It is. But here's the thing.
I've yet taken a shit from him.
You guys know when I pass gas, it could kill a whole fucking room. It could
It's
drop some
silent.
dead bodies.
It's just so.
No,
it's
that's
just
true.
It's
Dead
not
shit.
necessarily that it smells bad. It's just that it's just so loud, and it's just
It's a
poison.
mix.
Spreads
They're just
so
there's,
quickly.
There's nothing cute about my farts, and there's no way you can be like, ha, he farted. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, like really?
So
No, it's, did you just shit yourself?
Yeah. And
how
so
much you say you hold back, and besides just like
I have had from different dates or relationships, I have had stomach aches because I've been holding in.
That
my
is
gas-
so
my
fucking
gas.
Jesus
funny.
Christ.
Why are you like? What do you think changes in the eye of the person?
I just
you're with?
I that's something I don't. I feel comfortable with so many other things. I feel
Right.
comfortable with a lot of things, but that is just it's just not one of them.
Okay. That's
Somebody
interesting.
farted on you when you were really young.
No, well, that's why you could. I'm not going to say that, but
Yeah?
you could.
Somebody held you down and just farted right in your
Okay.
goddamn face.
That
Is
is
this
true. That is true, but that was for fun reasons.
It did.
Well,
How's
how's
I don't
that
know
fun?
how that's fun.
My family is gross. We're funny, but we're
So
gross.
then that's you. That's a part of your character. Why are you
It-
afraid
it
to
is,
share
but
that?
because
Let it rip, dog.
no,
Let it rip.
I just can't do that.
I
would-
just
would
don't
do
see why
almost
you
a-
would hold back on something that's obviously a part of you. It's who you are. Like I think most
Okay,
people,
yeah,
it
but
takes a good
if we're
3
if we're
months to
being
really
honest, if
settle.
we're being
You have to-
honest, we don't give 110% of our personality to our significant others.
You do, for the most part. Besides that, it seems.
110%? That's not true. I don't think you know my relationships if you agree with that.
Oh, no, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
I don't.
necessarily. I don't think that the goal that you have to necessarily be be 100% vulnerable and like this is who I am at all times. I think that you should be very close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you don't have to be 100% honest because maybe in whatever moment maybe it's the best option not to be.
Exactly.
See,
Like
I
my
got- I
wife,
have a
I'm
luxury.
farting in front of my wife.
maybe that's
I got the
that
luxury,
might be a
like-
difficult thing to understand from the being the person that's on the receiving end of the dishonesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you guys know what I mean?
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
completely
I
agree.
know.
I don't think anyone's ever fully honest with their relationship, and I don't mean that in a
And this
messy way.
extends
like-
to relationships in life as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I
how
felt
we
my friend, though,
expose
so, like-
ourselves to
I mean,
everyone.
even with friends, I think
Yeah,
even
like-
with each other, we can say, oh yeah, like half the time we are being honest, but sometimes we hold stuff back or we don't mention everything because you don't want to be completely vulnerable. That's
Right.
that's just
it depends on how you meet the person. Because like I felt for my friend, so there's already a comfort level there. So I was very comfortable with like expressing myself to her,
Right.
expressing things I didn't want to tell anybody else.
Yeah.
But
And
like if you just meet somebody off the street, you like first date, and like
Yeah.
it's like you gotta let that build slowly.
Yeah.
You can't just like off the bat just give
especially
yourself
if
to
you don't
them.
know how it's going to end.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
every relationship you get in, you have to understand, not everything lasts forever.
Yeah.
You get a lot of practice before you may
Make the right choice.
find a right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could just be like, "Hi, I'm Tommy. I like anal. My dad left when I was 7." You know?
Yeah, and that might be the one, but sometimes you can be in a relationship. I mean, and there are relationships, there's marriages that last for 25 years.
Yeah.
And you think you know the ins and outs of this person. You say, nope. And I think that's part
But
of
do
letting
you
yourself
think
out.
that's
I don't want to rip ass in front of every girl I meet because guess what? I don't want them talking behind my back saying, yeah, I think he shat his pants every time I was with him. Like,
Wow.
But do you
so you're
think-
worried about what they say about you?
No, it's feelings too. I think everyone.
I know, I got it.
I know, my ego, but like everyone does worry about what other if they
and my
admit it or
ego.
not. They do worry about what other people
big.
say or think about them.
Worth it.
And
I
I don't want
agree.
people thinking that I shit my pants every time I'm.
So are
messing
you
around
saying
with
that it's holding back your personality is more damaging than you don't think that
I don't
it's just
think it's
a loss?
damaging. I
You don't
think
Oh
it's
no,
natural.
I wasn't meaning like, dude, you gotta fart while you're like being intimate. I wasn't meaning
Oh
that.
yeah,
no,
no,
not at all.
I was joking. I was joking.
yeah, I
But
was
isn't
meaning
that what
like,
the
but if
queef
you're
is?
just
But
like
look, if
hanging
that's
out,
what you're into, then that's
Is that not what a queef is? Is it? Am I?
That's just air.
That's just
Queef
air?
is not a
It's
fart.
not a fart?
That's different
It's-
air.
yeah.
I think
I thought it
queefs.
was the vagina fart.
Honestly, I think
I thought it was the vagina fart.
queefs are the
South Park
most
misinformed me.
hilarious thing. I am not disgusted by queefs at all. I think
Remember
they're
that
so
queef
funny.
episode of
oh
South
yeah,
Park?
You have to get.
that's a very fun. Like that's pretty fun because anytime that they ever happen, the girl's always really embarrassed
Yeah,
by it.
honestly, I
But,
think it's
like,
cute. I
but
think it's so funny.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. It's like there's nothing
like, you're like,
there's nothing awkward about
Oh,
it.
you
It's funny.
I think
Yeah.
you just have to. There's a certain comfortability you have to get in a relationship, and I think for a lot of people it takes a different amount of time. I think for me it's usually within a good 2-month, 3-month period. I think I'm really set.
I mean, I'm
into it.
showing my experience level here, but how does that sound?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
you'll
um,
just you'll know.
You'll know.
It's just
Oh,
a-
how does
oh,
it? How does it feel?
Like
How does it
air
sound?
leaving a balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really?
For me, I
I
think
mean,
it's
it's not like
so funny.
it's not like that, but like if you let the air out of a balloon real fast.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
if it's for anyone, I think we've all.
That
We've
was an
all-
accurate description of a queef
Yeah.
by Austin Chancemeyer.
or a balloon.
We here, dog.
I guess it's both, really.
It's
But,
absurd.
Like,
I think we've all gone to our relationships in various ways. Austin, I believe. How long were you together before you actually started dating?
a month.
A month. And Danny, started dating,
I don't know.
and then
a month or two.
started dating just from I think both of the previous girls. From
a party,
just
yeah.
at a party.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting, kind of how we've all how they've gone based on that.
I'm a slow girl. I can't just jump into something. 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
no.
I won't be comfortable and I won't be myself.
Yeah,
So it'll be weird.
I don't jump into those feels quickly.
Yeah. Well.
Well, it's actually
Well, I'll jump into
surprising.
feels quickly, but-
It's either the majority of the people I talk to, I normally will not feel much for them. But there are a few people, and it's actually funny. I think the majority of the people I've talked to, I didn't feel too much for at first. But it's usually the people I actually feel something for that I don't end up getting with.
Right.
Really.
Which is, yeah.
Really.
That's kind of
kinda
sad.
It is.
It is, but it's just the way it
Some
is.
of that Never mind, I can say it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's good.
Like real life situations.
But yeah,
But
West Virginia.
The action. No,
but
but
so how
yeah.
does that how does that apply to like your single life now?
well, I think Quincy just gave a. I'm not going to give too much of a description, but
Oh yeah, no, I'm not trying to get like
so
too personal.
we went to another
Yeah.
we went to another school, and I met this one girl, and I thought she was just like she was cool.
Yeah.
And like it's like there's some
I can
people
see y'all hitting it off.
Yeah, and there's some people you just get a connection with, and they make you. It sounds so generic, but they make you feel like, oh my god, this person's awesome.
Right.
Like, this is like I've met this person, and I've talked to them for 15 minutes, and I want to go on a million dates with them. Or
Right.
I want to do whatever. And I felt completely comfortable around this person. Now that didn't work out, so go fuck myself. But but what I'm saying is
fuck herself.
I felt more for this person in that soft and not soft that was like a little poem there in that small night.
Danny's reciting haikus right now.
Thank you. Yeah, very
Haiku
great.
with any
Slam
sentence.
poetry and the lips. But I felt more or connected to this person in that one night than I did from some of the people I talked to over months.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's either I do or I don't.
And so, why is it so difficult to be in a relationship with someone you really?
I don't think it's difficult to be in a relationship. I think it's difficult to maintain a relationship that's not going to work.
Can you? How good of a judge would you say you are on something like that? Seeing
I think
something
instinct.
Not working out? Really?
Instinct.
You know you don't, and you know if something's going to work, and you know if something's not going to work. And I don't mean you're always thinking it, but it's in the back of your mind.
Right.
If it's not going to work, you have feelings.
Yeah.
You always do. You know.
Yeah. I think for me, I guess based on my past relationships, I really just take a gamble. I'm never really one who's like, I really know who this person is. I kind of, like the past two, I just kind of jumped into it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for me, I can't. The reason I don't like putting labels on stuff and all that is I don't want to jump into something if I don't see a future in it. Because why the hell am I going to waste, even if it's for fun, why the hell am I going to waste a year of my life, 2 years of my life, 2 months of my life with someone that I know is going to go nowhere? Yeah, I could have sex with them, I could fuck with them, and hey, might not have some lonely nights, but shit, you know, what for what? What am I going to
Do you
do?
think there's no importance of just settling? Do you not think that sometimes
I will never settle.
Do you think that makes it more difficult?
Settling,
no.
you're going to end up wanting to shoot yourself because you're going to realize that you wasted half your life with someone that when you could have met someone better and
So
fulfilled your true
would you say
Exactly.
there's a perfect someone, or do you think there's perfect?
There's a
I think
perfect
there's
someone for
perfect
everybody.
someones.
Okay, yeah.
I don't believe I believe in a soulmate, but I believe that there's a lot of people out there that can do really
That
good
can
for you,
be it.
and
Yeah.
that can bring you to a further point. I don't think you should. I don't think anybody should ever settle for anyone because I think everyone has something that they can bring to the table, even if they're a complete jackass.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, there's probably something worse than you that you can bring to
Yeah.
a better person. A significant other is a partner. You're working together. You don't settle for when you're in a group project. You don't settle for a partner. You want to work with someone
Yeah.
that's gonna put in good work.
Shitty
But
group
I
projects.
think that
The group projects are they're
that you,
just
you
like
have
marriage.
to like that you can't. You have to be specific about what you like think of as settling, though. Like you can't. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say you can't, but I just feel like it wouldn't be right to find somebody that you really really like and that's really does help you be the person that you want to be and fulfill you. But then let a fear of quote unquote settling get in the way of that.
No.
Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
want like I wouldn't want Quincy to really have the relationship he has with somebody to develop and him at one point decide this is the girl I want to be with. I don't want his decision to say that he wants to be with that person to be considered settling.
No,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I don't think settling it means the same like settling down, like being like, okay, I'm grounded.
No,
now.
I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah.
I think
I mean
what I
s-
took it is settling for something less.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I took it as.
That's
But
what I
that's
think.
not-
That's what you said a great word, and it's fulfillment. If this person makes you feel fulfilled, that's not settling. That's
Right.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
If they can make you feel great, then that's
But Danny, what I meant essentially by settling is being with someone who, you, for the most part, is a good. They're overall great for you.
Just do the deathbed scenario, dog. That's what I do. The deathbed.
What is the
scenario.
deathbed scenario?
You imagine your deathbed.
Okay.
You imagine the person standing over you while you're dead, and if it's your girl, if it's the same girl that you're with, and you can see her there, then you're doing something right.
Well, I think a great thing too is imagining this person with your group of friends or your family.
Yeah.
If for the most part, and some people surround themselves by bad friends, which maybe you just need to rethink your life or what you're doing. But I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a fucked up way. But I'm just saying,
But
like,
for real though, like if you got trash friends, why you?
Yeah,
why you
but
with them?
if you generally
see
you
already drop
surround
one
yourself
member.
by people that you like and that have shared interests.
we ain't
and-
scared to drop no members.
and you want there to be. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You want there to be that friendship between your friends and family and the person that you're with.
Yeah, so if your family and your friends don't connect with the person that you're with, there's usually a deeper issue because it's generally not your friends and family and everyone else around you. It's generally that one person. But and that's not always
judgment
true.
do you
That's not
take-
always true because sometimes your family and friends aren't as great as an influence, and this one person is better, and maybe they feel you more. They're more of a natural fit. But in most cases, it seems kind of obvious. Usually, everyone around you saying one thing is a lot more right than that one person that makes you feel good.
Whose judgment do you really like take account in?
You have to take your own.
Yeah.
You have to understand everybody's, and you have
Make
to
your own
understand every
opinion because
point
it's your
and say, okay, I get all that, but what do I feel inside, and how does that? What's that going to mean? Even if that means I'm going to be heartbroken, what does that mean for me?
Mm-hmm.
How is this situation going to make me better or worse? Is this person going to make me better or worse?
Yeah. You talked about being like actually marrying someone. Are you full for everything
I
when
would,
it comes to marriage?
I go on and off. I think the whole concept of marriage is a scam. At the same time,
Okay. think
when
it's
I
just a
get
tax
when I
for
get
tax
married,
incentives?
besides the day I have my
Hey,
first child,
that sounds
it
nice.
is. But besides my first child, please God, let me have one.
It'll be a boy or girl.
But the day I get married is going
Filbert.
to be one of the happiest days of my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you all feel the same way?
I think marriage is a complete scam, but I want to get married.
I think my first I had my kids probably the best days of my life.
Oh yeah.
My boy
happiest day
QT3.
of my life already happened. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for me personally, I
And
think
I too didn't fit just right.
I think do you think religion has much of a place in marriage anymore? Do you think it's
why?
kind of
Why do
just-
you think marriage is a thing?
I know.
it's
I'm
because of
saying,
religion.
I'm saying
Marriage as a
Concept?
institution exists because that's where it came from.
Right.
But at this point, no, I think it's just it's a social construct.
That's why I don't
now,
know.
I mean, now it's just a.
We have to look
It's-
at different
it's-
cultures too.
yeah.
So would y'all get married in church or
but
you get
in-
married
in-
somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
I might get married outside in the
Yeah.
fucking forest.
That's what I'm
you know?
thinking.
I think
Like-
that would be
Oh, you
beautiful.
probably
But I
married on a
know, but
mountain.
I do not. I do not want to get married in a church. I don't feel the need to do that.
Right.
Thank you, priest, for doing the ceremony. I have you know that I did fuck this woman in the dirtiest of ways.
Before we got
doing
married.
this. And God, let me say this. I did think of you while I was doing it too. So don't get me wrong.
Wait, did you think of the priest or?
I prayed a little bit too
of
during.
both, and I think my wife was thinking of you too. So we're having a whole family affair here.
I did say a little prayer during too. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Well, I went to a wedding over break
Oh yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
You tell me about that.
that sort of had that like perfect balance between spirituality and then the sense of community that it was creating.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that. And to me, it was a much more beautiful ceremony than any Catholic ceremony I've ever been to. But that's subjective just to my taste.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think we are kind of getting in this, and I've talked to people only a few years older than us. We're getting in this time where a lot of our friends are getting married. We're gonna start.
Having kids first. I've
Yeah.
actually seen a lot
Well,
of
it's
people
a little
have
scariest
kids
thing
first.
It's a
the
little
other
bit
day.
of both. We're gonna start going to a lot more weddings, and we're gonna start. And it hits. You say, "Oh fuck, what am I doing
one
with
in the
my
crew to
life?"
get married.
So,
The first one in the squad
someone-
to get married.
I saw on Instagram the other day
Oh.
that someone I had a no. This is
Oh, this is
this is
another
different.
one.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys what I told Danny the other day.
Okay.
I saw on Instagram that a girl that I dated in 8th grade is married and has a child.
Wow.
And then the guy that she's married to and has a child with was in my 6th grade class.
Jeez.
And then but on Instagram yesterday, I'm just scrolling through, and a girl that I hooked up with on Tinder our sophomore year is pregnant.
Wow.
Wow.
And so I'm like, it's hitting like that close. It's no longer
it's
people.
creeping up on you,
It's
yeah.
no
It
longer
starts
people
right
we
there.
went
That
to.
one kid.
It comes on
you
to
see
you.
It's
walking
no
through-
longer people we went to high school with are getting pregnant and having kids. It's people we hooked up with on Tinder that's getting pregnant and having kids.
That's literally God saying, "Yo, Austin, watch your dick, bro. Watch your dick."
Well, to clarify, I didn't have sex with him.
Well, I know. I'm just. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something
God.
where you kind of have that concern, like,
Dude, that in the
should
buzz,
I
not
be
my kid.
comfortable with being like them? Because is it something where they just feel like they need to have a family, or is it something where, yeah, we're at that age, maybe we should think about it?
Can we talk about Tinder
My
for a while?
parents, to say what you were, my parents were younger than I am when I was born,
Right.
and so like that,
I'm almost as old as my mom was.
it
My parents
blows
were
my
in their
mind.
30s.
I right now, just because I'm in school and I have these career plans, I don't have any plans to have a child anytime soon, but it does kind of blow my mind that my parents were like already had me and then were like about to have my next two brothers.
Yeah, I'm just about the same age as my parents. When that happened. But at the same time, look how that marriage worked out. So maybe it's for the better.
I mean, marriage rates are still what 50% chance.
Yeah, but I think our
breaking up?
generation, not all of us, but for the most part, we're saying, hey, maybe I don't want to have a kid before I start a career.
Right.
And if that's your choice or if that's your lifestyle,
Yeah,
there's
sometimes
nothing against that.
parenting is still like
I
a
just
career.
think I think it's and stuff like that happens, and I know, and I have family members that have done that, and they're wonderful parents, and there's nothing against them, and they work their fucking ass off to support their children and themselves and their career. They're nothing less of a person.
No, not at all.
Just in my, that's not the route I want to go down.
I think in our current economy, in the current like the state of this country, and just how difficult it is for people to just find employment. Like the people who go to college are like, I gotta get this degree and then I gotta go out there and I gotta find a job, because if I don't, what am I gonna do? And so like that's the system that we're in, and so when we're in that position of being in school and thinking, okay, I gotta get this degree and then I gotta find a job after I graduate and then I gotta make money and get a house and survive. The thought of having a kid doesn't fit into that equation, so it just gets postponed.
Right.
It becomes like, I think to a lot of our generation, children have become one day we'll be able to have them.
Like a commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's become like
having a house
it's gonna eventually be like its own American dream.
You get money
for
for
a
a
kid.
kid.
I'll be able to pass on my genes if I fucking work hard and get a job.
Well, that's honestly how I feel. I mean, being like,
that's how bad it's gonna get. I think.
I mean, like for me right now, it's like, why do I want to get in college? I don't give a fuck about working or honestly pursuing a career. If I'm being completely honest, I don't give a shit about that.
But you're doing it to meet because it's a
Could we have to?
I
I
mean,
guess.
to an
doing
end,
it
and
because
that's-
one day that's going to get me secure to the point where I can raise a family and all that.
Yeah. I mean, if you think
Yeah.
about it, like China has the whole population crisis stemming from their whole like female babies, like selling them and then like selling them for adoption, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They don't kill them, do they?
No, they had a
uh,
one-child policy.
They have a one-child
Okay.
policy.
I
I don't know if they have it anymore, but they
yeah,
did.
but they
I
can't
think
have
they-
it anymore
because their
because now their
population is
population is
crazy.
diving.
They have
I think
almost two
Japan has the
billion
same issue, like most recently. This is just like a huge issue that's coming in, and I think it may happen to the U.S. eventually.
Well,
I think
our population dives down.
Yeah, I think our generation is having like estimated to have less and less kids than previous generations.
Oh yeah, I think that the birth rate. Well, I think that the
But we
birth
also know
rate.
parents want it to be.
I think that the birth rate over time is going to go down because it's going to get to the point where people can't just have a kid and then work to support that kid, it's going to be people have to get educated, find a job, get secure in that job, and have a career, and then have a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're down to 1.84 births per woman.
Wow.
Japan's at 1.46 and China's at 1.57.
Yeah.
I think people just got to improve on that pull-out game.
Well, I mean,
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if you want to talk contraception, do you really think pulling out is an efficient method?
No,
it's
dude,
not.
do never rely on pulling out.
oh really? Oh god.
I mean,
No,
if you're
that
It's just it's easier. There's so many places that provide condoms and just proper health.
I saw people getting offended by the idea of male birth control. Hell, you tell me that I can pop a pill in my mouth and then I'm not going to get somebody pregnant just by popping a pill in my mouth?
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
The second a safe and tested one of those comes out, or what's the? I don't even know. I'm going to sound so stupid. The thing where you can put in your arm.
Oh
my gosh!
That's
you kidding me?
A rod that
if that shit comes out for guys and it's like I want it to be
safe,
completely safe.
Yeah, if it's safe.
And it's not going to completely fuck me up.
But
It
everything
can
has
mess
side
up my
effects.
hormones a little. I mean, women have to deal with that on the daily.
Right.
So, but if I can find something like that, hell yeah. If I never have to wear a condom in my life again, oh my god, you bet I would do that.
But do you think that the production on that is going to go down because the idea that people are just doing it for recreational sex?
Let me tell you, I don't know one person who wants to wear a condom.
I
don't know one man that wants to have a condom, and I can tell you every man wants to have sex. So I think that
There's that.
shit's gonna skyrocket.
Yeah, I think it's two things. I think that it's half people that want to have casual sex and be able to have it have it be as pleasurable as it possibly can without having a condom, but also not have to worry about
Kids.
having kids. But the thing is,
No,
that
disease,
still
definitely.
doesn't cover the fear of getting an STD.
Yeah,
well,
You still have to worry about that.
That's true.
Because HIV is a bitch.
So I think that the
You actually have pills for that.
idea of male birth control
to get rid of it.
or like the purpose of an IUD,
Right.
I think that people are more likely to get an IUD or use the pill, the hypothetical pill we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People that are in relationships
Yeah.
and they want to have people like Kate and I,
Yeah.
we're in a relationship and we want to be able to have unprotected sex but not have the consequences
Yeah.
of pregnancy.
Well, that's the same thing about married couples. I know, like, for me, my brother is 11 months and 11 days older than me. After my mom had me, she did not want another child, and guess what? My little brother popped up. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
And so think about married couples who say, look, I just had 2-3 babies. And think how many couples are out there that have 6 babies and say, you really need another one?
Get that snip, snip.
Like, I think it would be so beneficial to have something like that for men, too.
All right, that wraps it up for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed listening. We'll get back to you in a couple weeks or next week.
For Z
Who
Money.
knows?
See
What
you
comes
soon.
next? See
Sign
you
out for Z
soon.
Money the Prophet. I'm
Signing
Q
off.
Tuck. Later, bitch.